Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
We have a warning for some Michigan and Michigan State students as a University of Michigan student is confirmed to have meningococcal meningitis. Plus, an early morning fire destroys a home in Detroit, and now an investigation is underway to determine if it was intentional. You're also going to want to break out those extra electric blankets this afternoon. It's going to be a cold one today. Well, it already has been, and it's going to continue into the weekend. The weather, of course, topping our news here at noon on your Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Evrod Cassimy. Let's get right on over to meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. The temperature not really going up much from earlier this morning.
And Evrod, the temperatures barely budged, as you mentioned, and wind chills are still way down. Sure, maybe above zero, but just barely. As you can see here, we've got wind chills easily in the single digits across all of southeast Michigan, as low as 4 for our friends over in Ann Arbor. 5 is the current wind chill in Mount Clemens. Now, we have some sunshine. There is a bit of lake effect snow up toward Port Huron, also Lake Huron, that's going to stick with us through the afternoon. Now, wind chills remain in these spots as we go throughout the rest of the day. In fact, head below zero as it gets darker and later on tonight. So where do they go from here? We'll talk about tonight's forecast and how much colder it gets and feels, and the possibility of snow before the weekend is over, plus, of course, your 7-day forecast in minutes.
All right, Andrew, thank you. An investigation is underway after a fire breaks out at a house in Detroit. It happened on Shiawassee, right near West Grand River and Telegraph. Let's bring in Local 4's Sean Lay. He joins us now live this afternoon. Sean, what do we know so far?
We've been here, Evrod, talking to neighbors, and they're very concerned about a man in his 40s who live here. They're very, very fond of their neighbor here, and they have a lot of questions about what happened here just about 5 this morning, because neighbors clearly heard 3 men in a very loud argument outside this home, and then Detroit Fire tells us at 5:11 in the morning, this home caught fire. Let's go to Sky 4 above here to give you a bird's eye view of exactly how bad this fire was. I'm standing 20 feet in front of this house, and you can see fire was in every single room of this house, up and down, top floor and the bottom floor. And when fire crews arrived, they found a man in his 70s outside of the home, out here freezing in the snow. He had very bad burns to his feet, legs, and hands. And then that man in his 40s that neighbors are very, very concerned about. They know more. They're closer to the man in his 40s. He had burns to his hands, both taken to the hospital. Family dogs also inside did not, unfortunately, make it out. Now, we do know the fire department is investigating this. We're going to continue to talk to people and check with investigators, see what they're learning throughout the day. We're on Detroit's west side. Sean Lay, Local 4. Evrod, back to you.
Sean, thank you. We have a warning now by the Washtenaw and Ingham County Health Departments after a confirmed case of meningococcal meningitis in a University of Michigan student. We're told that student attended an event at the Delta Kappa Epsilon residence in Ann Arbor on January 20th. And then on January 22nd, they were at Sigma Beta Rho, an event for that fraternity in Club Rush in East Lansing. Health officials say that anybody who attended either events should be treated with antibiotics within 2 weeks. We posted more information for you on our website. Just go to clickondetroit.com for that. Now to the coronavirus. Today we can get new COVID numbers, and this comes as the state is handing out free KN95 masks. 10 million masks, in fact, are going to be available at community organizations, local health departments, and MDHHS offices. We have all the information there for you on clickondetroit.com. Meanwhile, relief is on the way for businesses that have been impacted by the pandemic. They will receive state grants under a $185 million spending bill that won initial legislative approval. Applications for those grants are due by April 1st. So the complaints of foul chemical odors coming from the Mack assembly plant where Stellantis makes the Jeep Grand Cherokee have been coming consistently since July. And at a meeting last night, Eagle announced Stellantis has a 3-part plan to fix 4 odor violations and 1 for improper ductwork at the plant. A state toxicologist reviewed air samples, finding that of 20 unique chemicals detected, 8 are used at the Mack plant, and all were below a short-term or long-term health risk. But neighbors aren't sold they won't still see cases of sore throats, burning eyes, and asthma attacks from the odors that they've been smelling.
How it's okay for you all to kind of underscore or sign off on Stellantis' statements that there are no health risks when you've all stated that there's not data to do that. I guess that's my question. You don't seem to be concerned about the health impacts. You seem to be focusing on the smell and not the fact that eyes are burning, that throats are sore.
MDHHS said the odors and health concerns are just not acceptable, and that's why it's not taking Stellantis at its word, and there will be continued monitoring that happens as well as future meetings. Another lawsuit is coming to the commission that approved the congressional redistricting maps. The League of Women Voters of Michigan, along with voting rights advocates, filed the suit calling for partisan fairness in the redistricting process. The group says the new map should be replaced with a fairer map.
For the past 10 years, has stripped rights from voters and prevented their being represented fairly in the U.S. Congress and the Michigan State Legislature. Partisan fairness must be our top priority and must be as close to zero as possible, because these maps will influence our elections for the next 10 years.
The League of Women Voters of Michigan has been heavily involved in the redistricting process by engaging in education outreach and making sure that Michigan voters have a choice. Police are on the hunt, trying to find a man wanted in connection to a double shooting. Take a look. This is 61-year-old Dennis Evans. Police say that he is connected to the shooting of a man and woman on 10 Mile, just west of Gratiot, Thursday afternoon. The man died, and the woman is still in the hospital. Evans might be driving a 2019 black Kia Optima with a license plate that reads EBH 5813. Anyone with information is asked to contact Eastpointe Police. A Howell insurance agent is sentenced for embezzling more than $300,000 from her clients. Attorney General Dana Nessel says that Alicia Holbrook Bloink pleaded guilty to defrauding her clients last month. Between 2015 and 2018, Holbrook Blanc used her insurance agency to embezzle $375,000 by taking money from clients who paid in full and then forging finance agreements with companies before canceling the policy and keeping the money for herself. She was sentenced to 3 years probation, with the first year to be served in the Livingston County Jail. All right, still to come here on your Friday afternoon, just hours before President Biden was set to speak about infrastructure in Pennsylvania. Crews are trying to figure out what happened after a bridge collapsed, injuring 10 people. Plus, tensions continue to rise between Russia and the United States over Ukraine.